Congressman Jim Himes of Connecticut, ranking member on the House Intelligence Committee. First of all, what do you make of just the drumbeat in the last hour or so, the president returning early, posting everybody should evacuate?
I think two things are going on. Number one, I think Donald Trump in these last 72 hours has been struggling to get ahead of where he was 72 hours ago. 72 hours ago, it's not clear to me that he knew with any particular warning that the Israelis were going to go. It's not clear to me that he gave permission. And so now that he sees the Israelis, at least in these initial days, doing pretty well, he wants to get ahead of it and ultimately claim credit. The other thing going on is and this is, by the way, my opinion, not necessarily the view of the American intelligence community. This is about regime change. Netanyahu.
You think that's the bottom line for Israel?
Yeah. And so why does the president put up "Clear Tehran"? Why do the Israelis bomb national television? Why do they start taking on economic targets? Again, my own opinion is that Netanyahu went into this hoping and maybe intending for regime change. That's a very tough bet to make, but I think Donald Trump's post today is partly about that.
The argument for those who support regime change in Iran is, look, you can, first of all, if the U.S. doesn't get involved, Israel is not going to be able to destroy the Fordo facility. Natanz they can damage perhaps, but not wipe it out entirely, and therefore you have a regime which still has the desire to, if what Israel and the West is saying, to get a nuclear weapon. You still have that in place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, the reality is I heard you, CNN quoted somebody saying that the program has been set back significantly. I don't think that's true. The enriched uranium is unreachable under Fordo right now, and some tunnels associated with the Natanz facility. No reason to believe that uranium has actually been in any way destroyed. Now, the Israelis, of course, can close tunnel entrances and stuff, but you can fix that quickly. The Iranian nuclear scientists who have been killed, the reality is that you can replace that know-how. Pakistan and India, Pakistan in particular, not known for their nuclear scientists, they can, right now, Iran, if they were left alone, could reconstitute their program very quickly.
Do you think the United States will ultimately enter this conflict?
Well, remember, we're in this conflict, right? Our naval assets and other assets are knocking down Iranian missiles right now.
In an offensive way against directly striking.
So, that's an interesting question. It's sort of a Donald Trump question and MAGA question, right? Because, Donald Trump and MAGA, the sort of article of faith is that you don't get involved in foreign wars, much less regime change wars in the Middle East, which I think we all understand are problematic. But, Bibi Netanyahu is a very, very smart and strategic guy. So at some point, does the prime minister convince the president to give him the bunker busting bombs and the aircraft that are necessary to deliver? I could certainly see that, because again, I don't think the infrastructure has been all that damaged so far. On the other extreme, do I think American troops are on the ground in Iran? No, I do not. I think that is probably 10 steps too far for President Trump.
In terms of Netanyahu has talked about regime change. He refused to rule out targeting Iran's supreme leader. There's reporting, and we've been told that the president several days ago rejected the idea of actually targeting the supreme leader. What kind of an impact do you think that would have? Because, Iran is in a uniquely vulnerable position compared to where they have been over the last 10 years at the very least. Hezbollah has been badly weakened by Israel. We also saw those pager explosions. Obviously, the Houthis still have capabilities. Syria, the regime has changed. It's a lot different situation for Iran.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Look, from a military standpoint, they are not nearly what we feared they would. And the prime minister, the actions he took against Hezbollah, and no question. However, regime change is a totally different thing for two reasons. Number one, and again, it's really hard to know how the Iranian people are feeling right now. But history shows that when you bomb people, it tends, think of the British, in the 1940s or any other examples. It both rattles people, but it tends to rally people around their country. So whether the Iranian regime can make that happen is unclear. But then of course you have a whole other question, which is, let's just imagine, best case scenario for Bibi Netanyahu is that the regime falls tomorrow morning. Then of course in the Middle East the question is, and what replaces it?
We don't have a great track record on regime change.
No. Let's not use euphemisms here. Attempting regime change in the Middle East almost always ends brutally and tragically.
Congressman Himes, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Anderson.